He watched the Parthenon crumble. Fuck the Greeks. They weren't humble. He primed Vesuvius to erupt, sifted the rubble on Bronx Charlotte Street, campaigned on TV, and was elected king. So be it. He smoked in bed, wore guns to bathe, and sold rotten meat. He tightened the laws, relief laws during a recession while munching on federal surplus wheat. He poisoned the streams with PCBs. He goads the Russians with nukes and serviced Alexander the Great by spit-shining his boots. He brought measles-infected blankets to the Indians, took their land, acid rained the Appalachians, oil slicked Iraq and Iran. He designed sugarcane impoverished Puerto Rico, and when our fingernails begin to glow, he invents devices to ignite. From these new finger bulbs, we get connected to the internet. He watched as Johnny got his gun without pity, shot snake eyes on Hiroshima while gambling in Atlantic City. He had us heat our homes with gas, then oil, then wood, then without. On the icy road, he took down the sign that said caution. He foreclosed 100 family farms in South Bend, but we wouldn't let him bid at auction. He cheerleads the lynchings, leans on the ropes, pushes John Cameron Swayze, counsels everyone to vote. He treads lightly in the garden. Please don't eat the daisies, and styled the straitjacket hospital behind the electric door marked crazies. He had aftershock orgasms when the crane fell on 57th Street. He hopped the IRT, went to work, stole 100,000 shares of IT&T. He's been a group leader at Est. He solicits the walking skeletons of 3rd Avenue with rouge lips. He raids backstage at Rolling Stones concerts, commands the groupies with the biggest tits. He would have taken 2 tubs of spice up to Potomac to liberate the Indians instead of starving them. But Cathay offered a better price. He raised the MGM lion, and for the betrayal, he rigged Mount Sinai. He gave us tribes, gave us slaves, gave us serfs, and social insecurity from cradle to grave, and gave us now what God hath wrought, 3 Mile Island almost north. He's got a hideout in Tibet, and summers in Cannes. He built 100 nuclear reactors, but forgot to check the plans. He goofed. He fucked the world up. Our bridges and roads are turning to rust. In him we trust. He, Henry Kissinger's the Pope, pushes dope from Thailand. He waves a wand and our airwaves turn to Rice Krispies. He designs hairspray to grow in our noses, which goes to show you his sheer neurosis. He sells apples from the pushcart, covered with wax, cuts a deal in real estate, passes on the tax. He drains his glass from city to town. In India, gasses the sacred cow. He read Rambo, he coaxed Malraux, but Machiavelli are his favorite strophes. According to pleasure, according to soul, according to rapture and rock and roll, he hams it up in vaudeville, burnt a church in Biloxi. Took carpentry at Yale, majored in boxing, did an MA at Plymouth Rock, and started the legend of Cropsey. He waited on tables at Comedy U while forging a PhD on the Asian flu. He caused a panic in 29. He kept the grapes of wrath and wine, broke the lock on the Reichstag, labeled the 10 Commandments a mixed bag. He made the documents ecumenical, then went to work for Hooker Chemical. With Brookie, he rode the Jordache horse. Without a bra, he made her run the course. He hired Cossacks, danced at the Ritz, ordered Heineken but paid for Schlitz. He went to the ropes in the 7th, he rounded the wheel, he got Mrs. Robinson alone and copped a feel. He gave Ben Franklin the gout and left the people of Palestine without. He lectured Moses, laid on some bread, beat Crazy Eddie with rubber hoses, and on a TV closeout came out ahead. 4th of July, that's my bag. He tried to sew an American flag, but found pins and needles without any thread. He's got a season's box to watch the LA Rams cheerleaders chime. If he can't do it, no one can. He was a witch doctor of babies. He was a killer of the ladies on the Kane Mutiny. Queeg the skipper. Are you Mary Clark? Screamed Jack the Ripper. He took a summer at camp, pulled a raid on the girls swimming in the Raw. He stole a canoe, sank a raft, and started color war. He devised the SAT tests. 10 million students swore. He ran it through the mixer fixer. Always came out best. He's a loner, a long-distance phoner. He's Turkish and a Jew. He came home late for the last summer. Madonna beat him black and blue. He's no scrounge, carries the gold card, demands the VIP lounge. He got a dog, an $800 Chihuahua. Sent it back, cause it couldn't talk Spanish. He planned the earth on a lark, and then sold it for a song. He took a land with nature's riches and leased it to James Watt to take apart. He was a cabin boy on the Andrea Doria and ran away. He fired the missile that hit the Belgrano at the Auschwitz Glee Club. He led the Sopranos. As they marched to the ovens, he played the piano. He stowed away on the Nina, Pinta, and the Santa Maria. That's the only way he could get him an apartment in Manhattan so cheap. He had us believe that things were always this way, that City Hall is forever. He gave the Tsar his final kiss, told him not to worry. He'd get him an Apple Macintosh and a pass to the West. He couldn't bury Karl Marx, so he just hounds his children to no avail. Lenin creamed him in a long game of pinochle. Gramsci beat him at Catch the Cockroach in jail. He snuck the angels into hell, like the NSA, to spy on the electronic mail. Distorted computer matching, flew the space shuttle into the drink, blew out the tank on the lunar module. $1 billion gone on a blink. He started a quiz show, The Price is Always Right, won the highest, a water purifier, and a trip on a Malaysian flight. Bit a chip off the golden calf, got another toothpaste, sponsored $1 a laugh with the CIA in Dallas. He hid behind the bush. He zeroed in on Kennedy. In him we trust. He poisoned the Tylenol and added a pinch of phenobarbital. He plans outings and shootings and superstars in a flash. He played Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, snuck into the box office and pilfered the cash. For the Sabine women, he ordered the rape. For Richard Nixon, he erased the tapes. He was queen for a day, he worked the street. He was busted for coke, seducing children with sweets. He bribed the judge, he ditched his wife. He disowned his kids and hid his life. He excelled in polluting the Long Island Sound. He spewed lead in the air. He dioxined the ground. Stood by the radio, the ghetto blaster, hot summer night and song, fleeced the secretaries with 3-card Monte and cheated at Mahjong. He's a primer, he's a poet, he's a priest and a shaman. Said mass at dawn, confessed at noon, then had his confessor silenced by a mafia goon. He survived the drought, but left the Great Salt Lake without. Prayed at church, then stole at Woolworth, fixed the numbers, always gave us the worst. He was a weaver, a house speaker, a banker, and deceiver. He robbed the sweat of an eon of souls, left the earth without the ozone. Hit me one more time, Cheney. A $700 billion jackpot or bust. In him we trust. He wrecked the bus on New Year's Eve. He writes his name on blood on leaves. He robbed the sweat of an eon of souls, left the earth a worn-out dump hole, left the earth without the ozone. Hit me one more time, Charlie. A $300 trillion jackpot or bust. In him we trust.